The first question of today is how do we understand the complexity of dharma with reference to Mahabharata as well as in general? Since values keep on changing or getting reversed depending upon circumstances, doesn't it get a little difficult to choose one right or wrong?
I totally agree with Balramji. In today's contest, if you wanted to, the question was, in today's contest, what right, how do we decide? Kshatriya Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma is what is used in Mahabharata war. Each one of us have got Swadharma, Kudumba Dharma, maybe Jadi, Kula, Samuha, it goes up to the world Dharma. So where, when, what, why, who, in front of whom, how does it distinguishes dharma in different forms? So dharma is like too fluid. What you do at your home is dharma there, but what you do in the street is not dharma. What you do in the boundary of two different nations is entirely different from what you do inside your. So where, in front of whom, why, WWWHW, that is what defines dharma. Good question.
Yes, Jessica. Further question. Yes.
The second question is, who is a good leader? And we have a follow-up question. What to do in a situation which disturbs you?
You need a reaction, Rishika?
Sure, sir. We also have the first part, who is a good leader.
See, there are some problems which are under our control. There are some problems which are not in our control. You want to solve problems faster, it may not be possible. Some problems will get solved by itself. You will have to have patience. Some problems where you cannot solve, you should ignore it. Because thinking more and more about problem is the biggest problem. Keep saying, I have a illness. Illness is a body problem. But thinking about illness makes us to be diseased. Disease is a emotional.
Sir, you are muted.
Everybody was muted, so I was also muted. I think because of the disturbance. When the illness, you take it inside your manas, you keep on thinking about it. There are a lot of people. I am a psychotherapist, so most of the problems which comes to us is only a temporary problem. The physical problem would have been disappeared, but still you have this problem of thinking about the problem. So most of the time problems are momentary. Thinking about the problem is like a continuous process. And the first part of the question is a beautiful answer for the second part of the question. Who is a leader who knows how to think beyond the other people around you? You are not a common person. You can think for future. So when you understand these problems are momentary, I think again post muted. If you know this problem is momentary, then definitely you are a leader. The leaders don't have problems. Do you think the Prime Minister of India will have a back pain problem and then he will take rest? He may have physical problem, but he don't even have time to think about it. I keep saying the busiest people, the best method to solve most of your miseries are be 200% busy. I think a mother has a back pain. When the child is falling, mother forgets about the back pain. She will run and catch. If you keep on complaining, we are not talking about the acute problems or the problems which makes you not to move and such physical problems. I am talking most of the misconception about your illness which gives you a lot of diseases. Only such diseases I am talking. And 90% of the problem, you know, most of the clinics and hospitals in India were full before COVID. Now after COVID, hospitals are mostly free, no other diseases. One of the biggest lesson Professor COVID has taught us is there are no big problems and there are no necessity of hospitals at all. Because most of the hospitals, only one case is being dealt here today is COVID. So once COVID goes, you can close all those hospitals, right? If you take a statistics, you understand you have small problems because you don't have a big problem. I keep looking at newspaper and see lot of small newses which has got a one day life is being reported, and it probably has got the main focus in the main page. I keep saying it's a wonderful thing. That is because we don't have a big problem to be reported. Do you want a big problem, a plane crash, to cover the whole newspaper? Let us hope that there has to be small problems. Problems are every time there. So we should always pray for having problems. In my lecture also I said, we should not pray for not having problems. Problems are to be there. Development comes, progress comes only when you have problems. Anybody who is active will have a lot of problems. And a leader is one who is ready to face those problems. So that is the leadership. So your first question and second question are not different questions. It's so nicely, I don't know who asked that question. We should give a reward for them to ask such brilliant questions. Right? Good, Ishika.
I think we agree with
That was my question.
Yeah, you are brilliant, we know. I was thinking who asked this brilliant question.
Suddenly, I was. Thank you.
It was really very well explained. Couldn't have asked for a better explanation. The third question is, can Atma Gunas be changed or transformed?
Shall I take it, Balram ji?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Atma itself is Nirgunam. I think the question itself has got a cunning part inside of that. We have three parameters which governs us. One is Buddhi, another one is Manas. Manas is the Mana, and Atma. Atma is like a judge. Judge should not show Swabhava. It doesn't have, it's like a Sakshi Bhava. Sakshi doesn't have Swabhava. Your Manas has got a Bhavam. Buddhi has got a tuned Bhavam, which is practical. So there is an emotional feeling which comes, I want. The Swabhavam of Manas is I want. It has no logic. I just want to enjoy it. That's it. And every animal has got this Swabhava. Humans also have Swabhava. What is extra that humans have? We have a logic because we are a social being. We are a human being. We have got a lot of Dharma Shastra being taught. We know what is right, what is wrong. We follow somebody's principles. Therefore, our Buddhi will say, oh, this is not correct. What is Atma's job? It is the same me, inside me, who is the Atma, who tells me after some time, what I have done is wrong. So the question is, am I following my Manas or the Buddhi? Sometime I follow Manas, sometime I follow Buddhi. That is the biggest conflict. So when this conflict is there, the judge, who is the Atma, will find fault with either the Buddhi or the Manas. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, Uddharet Atman Atmanam Atmanam Avasadhet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Your ability to uplift your Manas and the Buddhi to the level of Atma, therefore you don't question yourself. So what is the Swabhavam? That clean Atmiya level. What is Atmiya level? Being in yoga, not the physical yoga, not the Ashtanga yoga. Being in yoga, be in union with the Bhagavan, God. So you become the Supreme Personality. So what is the Swabhavam of Atma? If at all you want to give a Swabhavam, that is the Supreme Personality. The Supreme Being, the Godhood. That is what the Atma's level, if it has to have. But By birth, all of us by birth had this ability. We are all that pure. We are all Brahma by birth. Hridaya Guhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. Inside our Hridaya there is a Brahma, which is Nirguna, Parabrahma. And that is what we are. But with the Prarabdha Karma, with the atmosphere, with the environment, with the bad Sangam, not the Satsangam, we started polluting ourselves. So our basic Swabhavam became diluted, and what we are showing is not the Atma Swabhavam. What we are showing is the Buddhi and the Manas. That is where the problem is.
Thank you for addressing this question from a great individual perspective, respected panelist. The question is why we suffer from false ego. I'll repeat the question. The question is why we suffer from false ego.
Sure. Who doesn't have ego? When I say that I belong to this part of the world, that is an ego for me. I am so and so is an ego for me. When do that ego becomes a false ego? Assume that by mistake I am being addressed as somebody else, or maybe my old designation is being called. My job is here to do a lecture. I am not worried about what designation I come from. Right? So somebody reacts to that, that's a false ego. When some questions are asked, why am I answering? Because I have a ahankaram. Ego is ahankara. Everybody should have ahankara. I know what I know. If I think that I don't know, I simplify myself to say that, oh, I don't know. Is that what is expected when questions are asked? I am supposed to answer when questions are there. So I have an ahankaram. I know this much. Therefore, I am answering. But assume that somebody else gives a better answer. Somebody else gives a better interpretation. I agree to that. Then my ahankaram is not false. But if I don't agree that is called false ego. I only agree with what I am saying, but not with somebody else. That part of ego is called ahanda. I think I know much higher than many of the other people. If that comes, that becomes ahanda. This is clearly mentioned. Nobody should have ahanda, but everybody should have ahankara. When we say that I belong to this institution, I have this degree, I studied this, I read this, all that is part of ahankara. Ahankaram is not at all bad. Ego is not bad in Bharatiya Shastra. But overreacting, taking it in the wrong way, keeping that what I had is much bigger than what I am going to have. My background should be ignored when I am going to create foreground. If that is there, it is not false ego. But if you are only clinging on to your background and you don't want to make a foreground in your life, that is called false ego. That means if you are ready to learn, you don't have false ego. If you are not ready to learn, that is the bad ego, false ego. One last question. Somebody has.
Can I have one last question, please? Okay. My question will be entirely different from what we have been discussing for the last 2 days about health, happiness, and harmony. Yes, but the true interpretation of yoga is totally converted to modern outlook on yoga. That is extension of life by bringing happiness, pleasure, and other idhyas. But is it not increasing the sufferings or furthering the sufferings to a great extent, wherein the Sankhya philosophy and Patanjali yoga philosophy emphasizes about the liberation aspect? How would you, tackle in such a situation when you face that you are extending your happiness, you are extending your health, and you want to have harmony? It is only a modern outlook. But in the older outlook was entirely different. I request clarification for this.
That was a very welcome. I don't know whether you heard my lecture. I told if Patanjali is alive today, seeing the yoga, World Yoga Day, and the caterpillar legs being published in the newspaper showing this harmony of standing in the line, he will commit suicide, I said. Actually, this is not what Patanjali expected out of yoga at all. You don't see Surya Namaskaram in Patanjali. The whole today's modern yoga, which was Iyengar who marketed in Western country when Satya Sai Baba of Tirupati was 16 years old. I have a beautiful picture where Satya Sai Baba, Bhuva Swami, Iyengar's Guru, and Maharaja sitting in early 1960, 1820 during that time. And to entertain the visitors in palace, they mixed gymnastics and then produced one practice, and that is what is today's yoga. I don't think Patanjali had any of these, otherwise we would have been seeing all the gods in Shirshasana. I don't think we see some, except in the childhood, Lord Krishna also is not sleeping on the leaf. Otherwise we would be seeing Brahma without a lotus sleeping on the water, because that somebody think that is what is Yogasana. It's actually mockerizing and calling their name and saying I am a Yogacharya. This is not what it is.
I do have, let me join some issue with you. If a mother, you gave an example of mother, if a mother finds out a grown-up baby, my mother finds out today that I talk like Lama Baba, like baby talk, I'm sure she will commit a suicide. But she loved it when I was little. So I think Patanjali will love it when she said Lama Baba, and then we talk to like, yoga. So I think he will be all right. I think he will give us some guidance.
Good.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for the excellent explanation, please.
Respected panelists, thank you so very much for putting in your views to answer all these questions so beautifully. I hope and believe your answers satisfy those who ask them. Our last request would be to share your experiences of being a part of this webinar.
I think Professor Sushant Dubai Saab, Namaskaram, Nalanda. I heard your lecture. I think you should have some words also on the panel.
I was just listening to the questions and their beautiful answer. What is to be added in the last, in fact, is on.
But Hatha Yoga Pradipika also says Adivyayama Madakaso Jara Shabdischa Jayade Hridayat etc. etc. Hridayat Dibharotascha. If you overdo it, that is what the question was. We are making people to overdo it, and somebody starts only at the age of 60, where somebody says you are being breathing with the two nose. One famous Swami says you have to close one and breathe the other one, and alternatively you learn it at the age of 80 and all the disease comes to you, because you have the nose to filter the air with the proper temperature change. It should go inside. When you are forcing it and then pumping it inside, it's like a pressure pump putting inside. That causes lot of diseases. Pranayamena yuktena sarvaroga samaraha ayuktabhyasa yogena sarvaroga samudbhavaha. So I was looking at NCERT book. Sushimji, I wanted to your comment, because you are part of implementing it in the schools and academics and all that. So if you look at it, NCERT books, it is so, I don't know who is going to teach this in the schools. If it is going to happen that we are making the whole education system much worse. I heard your lecture saying it is being implemented with the sports, and we have yoga as sports yoga, which is not supposed to be. You have to have a beautiful pathology understanding, you need to have biochemistry understanding, you need to have at least anatomy understanding. Without that, our sports itself is okay. For some people, they start doing from childhood, it is okay, they are becoming flexible. I also learned my yoga during childhood, but that's a different matter. Unless you have that practice, you start doing it in old age, we are going to have this problem. Hatha Yoga Pradipika is very careful about what to do, when to do also. So Dr. Jayanti ji, it is overall it's good, nice to have discussion so that every view is heard from all corners, and that is how it should learn. So good that at least a lot of activities are happening and students are listening. It's almost 8:30, 46 participants are there. Good. And your study on the survey is also beautiful. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for everyone. I think, and I need your support, Susimji and Professor Balram Singh and Professor T.P. Sasikumar sir. He is always there. So I am thankful to and Professor Sachidanand Mishra.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
With this, we come to the conclusion of the two-day international webinar on health, happiness, and majority through yoga. I must say it has been an exemplary experience, and I'm falling short of words to express how I'm really feeling in the moment. A simple vote of thanks won't necessarily do justice to all that we have learned in the past 2 days, but on the behalf of the Department of Philosophy, I would like to express my sincerest thanks to the esteemed speakers for educating us so well on the theme.
Well done, Ishika.
Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you so much. I can't say because something is inexpressible because thanks is not the right word. Yes, sir, I know.
And lot of critics has to be there. Like opposition is better, the ruling becomes better. Opposition is very lean, then the rulers do mistakes. So you should have.
Philosophy, we accept criticism.
Yeah, it has to be
in
there.
Indian tradition also, logic, epistemology,
But-
always.
But enjoy. Don't worry.
Jayanti ji, I have one last submission that we should end up with the Sarve Bhavantu Sukhna, which is the international.
Sarve
Yoga
Santu
Protocol
Niramaya.
point.
Yes,
So
sir.
should
We can
start
end up.
with that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We can. You can start with. We can join with you.
Sarve Bhavantu
One, two, three.
Sarve Santu Niramaya.
Niramaya. Sarve Bhavantu
Thank you. Thank you.
Immense thanks to Professor Sushil Dubey, who sent me this webinar details and other things. I am grateful to you, sir. Please.